So let me take you through what exactly we are going to witness in these 2 days of the workshop. The 2-day app development workshop contest for students in the region, expert trainers from industry who comes here for the speaking skills for all of you, workshops on mobile app development from the scratch, startup cafe, CXO showing, mentorships, global internships, higher education opportunities. We'll be presenting your ideas, get your ideas selected in incubation in global entrepreneurship centers. And more, adding to it, inspiring talks, get insights from successful people about what they think and how they work. So we're getting a lot of it these 2 days.
This is our Earth. It's the blue marble. Doesn't it look wonderful, very peaceful? This picture was taken first time in 1972 from the US rocket Apollo 17, I think. And it is in a height of 45,000 kilometers. So it looks quite beautiful, and if you take another picture right now, you won't realize the change from this side, I think. But take a closer look. We do see some other pictures. We are faced with huge challenges facing our blue marble, our planet Earth. For example, water pollution. Every year, 9 million of tons of plastic are wasted in the ocean. Already 90% of the huge fishes are gone. They won't come back. And so, water pollution is one of our major challenges we have to salute. Not only water, we have also problems on our surface as land and soil pollution. It's not only the surface, but it's the soil as well, which is highly toxic in a lot of regions of our world. Air pollution, also a great problem for our world with upcoming economies. They want to grow, and of course they have to use energy, and that goes along with consumption, with CO2 pollution, and this is one major problem we have to solve. As you all know, the CO2 emission causes a lot of damage in the higher space and the ozone level, and this is the level which shields our Earth, our global planet. There are already consequences, maybe in Australia, where there is a hole that the sun causes cancers to the people, and the major impact is that the sun heated the Earth, the surface, and so we are coming to a global warming, it is called, to climate change. That means the poles, the North Pole and the South Pole, they are melting. And it's not only dramatic for the animals who live there, who used to have this cold environment. If the poles are melting, the sea level goes up. And what does it mean for the sea levels? We're faced with floods. Faced with floods in lower regions, and a lot of regions are confronted with these consequences, and India is very much confronted with these consequences. Another sad topic is deforestation. Of course, we all need energy, so wood is taken for heat to produce energy, but the rest of it, as you see, such a sad photo, it destroys the earth if you don't do anything against it, if you don't farm, for example. in a lot of examples, it's not possible to do farming, or farming just for some years, and then the soil will be not good enough for anywhere or for any farming anymore. And then we come to desertification, along with this global warming. So from a green planet, we are going to maybe to a desert planet, and that's what we have to stop. Let me close with all these demotivating pictures and come to one huge challenge. It is the development of our world population. We have heard that 1.3 billion people already living in India. And if you see the development, it goes much further. From 1990 to 2100, the world population will double. And all the people, they want to live, they want to make business, they want to grow, they want to gain growth, wealth, and that's what we have to think about. So, what should our mission be? Our mission should be to save our planet, and from that mission we have to develop our own vision. Personally, what can I contribute to that mission to save the world? Of course, every one of you has a vision for growth. That's what I guess. Everyone wants to gain wealth. That's not bad at all. But we should consider the consequences. So we should have in mind to act or to target on sustainable growth. Growth with a look at our environment. And we had this discussion in Europe in the beginning of the 70s, when there was a Club of Rome, and he also figured out these consequences of huge development of our population and all these environmental disasters. And they said, okay, there is a limit of growth. I don't share this opinion that there is a limit of growth. Because technology and innovation, progress of technology, can help to extend these limits. So we can go further. We have to do research, we have to do education, we have to teach the people that they are skilled to develop solutions and to extend these limits. So we have to develop a vision and having this in mind. I would like to show you some examples. It's not that easy to develop a vision, as very famous persons has done some misjudgment on the development of technology. For example, this year is Mr. Ford. He developed more or less the first car production in a massive production line, an automation production line. He's the founder of mass production in the automotive industry, or industry as well. And when he wanted to set up his factory, he went to his bank and asked for money, for a loan, to build his production line. And the banker, he said, the horse will stay forever, and automobile is just a temporary fashion. Have a look outside, we don't see any horses anymore, not for transportation. We see a lot of cars, and not only motor engines, but electromobility cars, so this was a clear misjudgment. Well, have a look at, because we deal here with electronics, of the chairman and founder of IBM. In 1943, he said, I think there is a world market for maybe 5 computers. I think everyone in the room has one computer. He was spoken about huge computers in these times. He didn't have in mind that the technology could develop for micro processors, and so he didn't have the idea that computers could get very small. Or, you know, Albert Einstein, the genius, the Nobel Prize winner, he said in 1932, there is not the slightest indication that nuclear energy will ever be obtainable. 10 years later, there was developing the atomic bomb, and 3 years later, we had this massive damage in Japan. That's also bad development of a technology, but nuclear energy was obtainable, and right now it's one source of our energy plants worldwide. Just in Europe, Germany, we are going off of nuclear energy, as you might know, but the whole world still uses nuclear energy, and the genius Albert Einstein was not aware of this development. I think you know this guy, coming a little bit closer to right now to our times. Bill Gates, he said 640K, when we're talking of working storage, ought to be enough for anyone. Do you agree? Yes? Yes? Do you think you can run your computer with 640Ks anymore? No, I don't think so. Look at your smartphone. It has already more than 640Ks. So what I would like to show you that even distinguished personalities, they may have a vision, but they might also have misjudgment. But coming from history right now to current topics we have a taste of, and gives you also the chance to find technologies, areas where you can use your knowledge to develop applications, as we have the Appathon. There are these current topics like smart cities. We are faced with, as I said, with the development of our world population. In 2015, there will be 9 billion people living on our Earth, and 6.5 billion will live in cities. We speak of mega cities, which have 50 million of inhabitants, so that's a huge challenge how to organize traffic, energy, consumption, emissions, all that stuff. We have virtual reality coming up, so you don't have to travel maybe anymore. You can use modern computer technology, modern digital technology to visualize a virtual world. I will come later on to this. Industry 4.0 is a very common topic right now in Germany. So connecting production lines via internet, the machines they talk without being instructed by human beings. Robotics, automation is a very common topic right now in Germany. And let me come to one point. It's my personal approach I have with virtual augmented reality. It's the One World Online Academy we founded together with Mr. Quill. We will show a video later on, but just to give you a short insight, we founded this online academy with the knowledge of German technical sciences. So, Made in Germany is a quite known brand, and the products are well known, they're very reliable, they're innovative, and this is all based on the engineers in Germany, on one hand. On the other hand, it is based on the education system, and education what they learn. And our aim and our idea is to bring this knowledge from Germany to the world. So we say one world. And our first step with Amidas will be to distribute this knowledge here in India. So what you see is, we have a virtual studio, we have a model, a 3D model, which you can squeeze, which you can make smaller, and you can get details inside, inviting an expert, a German engineer, or from university or from industry, and he will explain how it works and give details to an audience which is online, or maybe also live, in India. And after getting this knowledge. I hope everyone who uses this channel is also happy as these people here, coming from the Institute of Engineering Technology. They look also look all very happy. Seems to be they have learned a lot. Later on, we will have a startup cafe and our panel discussion. And I would like to know who's interested to found a startup. Maybe raise your hand so I can see if you have the idea to set up your own business with a startup. May I ask? Okay, that's not too much, indeed. So we have to focus this on our panel discussion. In Germany, it has been, in the past the same. Not many people wanted to found their own company. Right now, we have a little mind of change. People do see possibilities to develop themselves, to develop a business. There are opportunities because with a small company, you are much agile, you can adapt easier, and industry is appreciating this developing very much. What is the startup about? We have, first of all, you see all these challenging situations, you see a problem that you can solve, so you have an idea, and then you create a product and you try, if you try to get a solution for this problem, and then you go in the execution phase, so you develop. And then maybe you fail, but if you believe in your idea, and that's one of the major personal aspects, you have to believe in your idea, you keep on going and doing. Execution is very, very, not to say the most important thing, because ideas, a lot of people do have ideas, only a few can execute. And if you don't execute, you won't have success. So for a startup, I have listed here, it's Sourceville Gross, he's from California. He founded Ideal Lab, and it's a kind of incubator investor. He had about 150 companies founded and 45 brought to an IPO. And he made a comparison, or he wanted to figure out what is the most important factor to be successful with a startup company. So he made a comparison. He showed 100 successful companies and another 100 who don't succeed, who failed. And he figured out these 5 success factors, such as the idea is, of course, the beginning, the team, which is the aim to execute. The business model, of course, is one factor. The funding, you have to fund the business, otherwise you don't earn money in the beginning. And the timing. From your kind of perspective, from your kind of experience, or what do you think is the most important factor from these 5? Idea. Idea? All right. Team. Okay. Yeah. Let's have a look. He figured out it's timing. Besides the team, which is to execute, of course it's necessary to have a team which is able to adapt to new situations. So based on the idea which you have, you must be able to change maybe your idea to be successful. So the team is a very from my kind of perspective, is one of the most important factors. As a good team can develop an average idea to a success, but a bad team can bring a good idea to a failure. And just to give you an example, for example, where you see how to change your idea. I think you all know Skype, and I've spoken to one of the Skype founders. These guys were in Europe, three founders, and first when they met, they had a total other idea. But one was in Sweden, the other was in Germany, and the third one was in France. And they had very high telephone costs because speaking about their idea was very expensive. So they thought, okay, we have to think about what can we do. Maybe we can use the internet for phone service. And then they realized when they had a solution, wow, we have a product. We can offer this to a mass of people who have the same idea to use phone via internet internationally, and so they make Skype. The timing, to give you also an example, you know Airbnb, for example, from the US. There was a former company with the same model. This was before, I think, in the middle of 2000, but they were not successful. Airbnb was successful when the recession came. So everyone in the US needed some more money, so they rented their house. And so this was the beginning of Airbnb. Maybe to summarize a little bit the 5 key points for a startup, from my kind of perspective, what will be effective to be successful, you should look out for mentors, advisors. Don't do it on your own. Look for someone who's maybe older, has more experience. A good mentor can open you doors for your product, doors to develop your idea further. Maybe as a business angel, as I do, put some money into the company to make an initial funding. Then find a co-founder. It's proof that most successful companies, they have 2 or 3 founders. Because then you can, it's the next point, build a co-founding team with balanced skill set. One is the technical, the other one runs the business, the third one maybe makes CPR. So you have a nice competences and for efficient execution of your company, appropriate skill set. On the other hand, you should stay frugal until you found a product and market fit. Frugal means don't waste the money you get from funding for things that don't pay on the growth of your company. And if you hire staff members just in the beginning, although you don't need them at all, buying a car, although you don't need it, it's nice to get some first money into your company, but you still should be very clear to use this money to develop your product. And finally, get some customer response. Check out whether your idea has real potential. You may have an idea, then you have to ask your future customers, what do you think about? Could you help me? This is my idea, what do you think? What I can do better, I don't want to fail. That's the question you have to ask. But don't ask your family, don't ask your friends. They won't tell you the truth. They say, wow, good idea. But because they're afraid to be honest and to tell you the truth, they don't want to they don't want to stop you thinking about the idea. So look for some objective persons you could ask. Coming back to my first ideas, relating to all the aims we have for our planet, and we have already heard from your co-chancellor from this university, as he said, okay, we have to respect human beings. That's what we are here for. And if you look up at all these global goals, which are promoted from the United Nations, have in mind that if you found a company or if you look for a job, you might meet one of these global goals. I don't want to name them right here or right now. You can have a look at it. Meet one, better, more. So we make this planet or our world a better planet. And to end with Steve Jobs, who said, the ones who are crazy enough to think that they can change the world are the ones who do. So we have to do, we have to execute, and then let us go crazy then to save our planet. I thank you very much for your attention. You were a great audience.
Hi everybody. First of all, I want to say congratulations. Do you know why? At the Olympic Games, Indian badminton player Sindhu took gold medal. So by the way, so Japanese player took bronze medal. Better luck next year. Now I feel very honored to give a speech in front of you. I'm running a company about promotional support in Japan. Before I found the company, I was a world chief in Japan. Looking back over my career, I realized that politics are my own. So why was I invited to this event during India Cup? I don't know why. But I think like this. Actually, there is a difference between politics and business. But both are the same in that it needs innovative projects for changing social environment. Whether politics or business, the key to success is challenge, to take a risk. There is no project with absolute success guarantee. There is a way to success in projects that everyone says it is high risk. You should do that. You shouldn't do that. That's why even around may say word, to believe in yourself is most important. After graduating university, I was working at Japanese TV station, Japanese biggest TV station, as a reporter. I have been covering famous politician and entrepreneur. Through reporting, I have been thinking that if I were them, what can I do in politics or business? It was good quality image training opportunity for me, for my future. Through this image training, I gathered confidence, like I can change Japanese politics. But when I tried to be a Japanese world chief, almost all people around me were opposed to my challenge. They said, "Oh, you are too young. Don't be hurry." But I didn't hear them. I was quite sure of my success. I had a specific vision, specific plan, scheduled for 1 year after I became world chief. I think it was more specific than anyone who wanted to be world chief. So that's why I was named the youngest world chief ever in Japan. Age doesn't matter. Age doesn't matter. To be serious about your mission, about your projects, about your business. These are the key to overcome wall of age. So actually here in Japan, so there is a big wall of age. I think so there is wall of age in India too, right? But the wall of age is not so problem. 24 hours, 365 days, think, have a specific plan. The old Japanese proverb says, "Suki koso mono no jouzu nare." In English, okay, in English. what you love, and money will follow you. Remember this proverb. In Japanese, 好きこそものの上手な。I think it's hard to remember. So, in English, do what you love, and money will follow you. To succeed in your life, love your business, love your mission, more than your hobby. For example, watching an Indian movie. Although it is difficult to, because the Indian movie is so attractive. But love your mission, love your mission. So you can think about it every day, waking or sleeping. I wish all of you many successes. Thank you for listening.
This moment is unique for myself, but for all of you. This is a unique situation. And this is most important because people coming together and changing ideas, philosophies, feelings. And this is a results coming up with products, with new changing for the world, for the one world. And we are all living in one world, and I tell you the truth, I love you all. I think, I'm coming to your side too, I think India is an absolutely fantastic country. This is for sure, because you have such a development in front of you. You can't even dream about the next generation. I'm talking about 10, 15, 20 years. You will never recognize your country when you look back, believe me. Because the technology we're talking about, Industry 4.0 or smart cities, will change our lives and living, for sure. So you are the generation who will change the world together. But please, with peaceful respect and love. Will you join me for this journey? Yes! Okay. We would like to show some video. So, as Dr. Carsten, my co-founder, said, we will set up some new technical revolution in transferring knowledge. Especially, our market will be first India, because we feel that the gap is now too big to the western part of the world. We have the feeling that you need a better and updated technology knowledge right now. So this might be a solution for you too.
Experts from around the world can teach students from around the world without anybody having to commute anywhere. Students can stay enrolled in their local universities and enjoy content from experts that deliver them know-how that is made in Germany.
With the One World Academy, our target is bringing German knowledge to the world through online lessons in universities, technical colleges, universities of applied science and research institutes. There is a lot of technical knowledge in there. We want to bring this firstly to India in the structure of an Indo-German program.
Not just university professors, but experts from the field who are up to date with today's knowledge can bring their knowledge to bear on the curriculum of students in India, China, and the rest of the world. The Academy website will be a streaming portal for both live content, weekly live webcasts of semester-long courses, and archived content. The student can download and review the live online lectures. The Academy website will also provide enrolled students with written material that corresponds to the live webcasts. There will be a multiple choice question at the end of the review so that we can make sure that at the beginning of each next webcast, everybody is on the same page.
In the One World Academy online program, students have the opportunity to speak to German experts live in the show.
Spezialisten aus Deutschland live unrecorded zu erleben. Darüber hinaus.
Furthermore, there is a Premium Plus service where you can find international experts talking about subjects such as Industry 4.0, smart cities and other important global topics.
Metropol, Smart Cities oder andere globale, wichtige Themen.
We are supported by economic experts who work daily in this field, who can show useful examples to the enrolled students. This makes it a very attractive program.
Attraktivität für den ausländischen Studenten bringt.
Furthermore, it can be very useful to companies who want to showcase their product in a virtual room and train students on certain technical processes.
Präsentieren und darüber Lehrinhalte ab.
Companies could also use this to recruit new highly skilled employees from the universities or to find more consumers of their products.
Konsumenten für ihre Produkte zu finden. Courses we will offer will be forged in a comprehensive manner in a writer's room. The professors and experts will be working with producers from the media industry with a mission to bring a new format to education.
The capability of importing 3D models directly from engineering software file formats allows the students and the experts from around the world to view and discuss details of machines. You can take models from engineers, scientists, automakers, etc., bring them into the studio, take them apart and see what makes them tick.
We can offer universities and colleges the installation of satellite studios, and in this way they can be better connected globally.
Diese Globalität spüren und erleben.
Here in the studio, we not only plan the physical system to fit the needs of your requirements, we train selected professionals in advanced studio operation. We are supported by a large company called BAM e.V. in Hamburg. With our partners, we have the opportunity, together with Professor Geiger, to provide green certification to Indian universities and colleges. Students will appreciate that we all live in one world and that we have the same targets to make the world a better place.
Do you like it? Yeah. You see experts, professors, doctors from Germany talking about, well, civil engineering or other topics you would learn from. So in this augmented reality studio, we have the opportunity to go really deep in machines. We can cut machines and you can see how a machine or robot is working. Yeah? And the opportunity for you, of course, you can see it whenever you want because it's screening. Yeah.
Anyway, this device, I think I heard some voices coming from this side to say, this is Microsoft Surface, and this is really catching up very fast as more of an, new age device where you would take it to the meetings. You can actually take notes, and it's pretty intelligent, so I don't sign it up, it just recognizes me by my face. If I were to just give you a demo of that, so I lock it, you don't see, and then it says hello, and you know what happens whenever I'm giving the demo, it makes sure that it will put me down. Hello. Okay, so it identifies, and then it gives me a wink saying, hello Vivek, go ahead with a wink, and then it starts. Okay, so a pretty interesting device. This is one great thing that Microsoft has done in the last few years in terms of devices. And in fact, they're coming up with another device called Surface Phones, which is a smaller form factor. In fact, the way the trends are going, everything is going to be converted into device in a few years from now. There will be, if you have heard of something called IoT, Internet of Things, everything, there will be intelligent small devices which are connected to network. They may have some sensors, and they will be everywhere, almost everywhere. And you will see that happening in, I think, less than 5 years. And I think I'm a little good in making such technology predictions, because about 15 years ago, when I had my first mobile phone in my hand, then I thought, and it was not a smartphone, it was a Panasonic normal phone, but it was very, very beautiful, lightweight, it has keys, it worked very well. Then that time I said, I think that the day will come when everybody in the world will be moving with a device as big as this, a screen, which will do most of your day-to-day stuff. The thought that I had about 10-15 years ago, and that's what actually happened indeed. So some of these technology trends become very, very clear, they become just so obvious. So mobile app is definitely one of the most interesting things close to Indians, especially Indians love to make apps. They may love to make apps for both themselves as well as for people outside India. We have customers outside India, but somehow we haven't seen an Indian app so far, really, which has an Indian-originated consumer app so far, which has made that work. So technology trend, I was supposed to play that video, right? Let me just play it. Give me a moment.
I was 13 when I first got access to a computer. My parents bought me a Macintosh in 1984 when I was 8 years old. I was in 6th grade.
I learned to code in college. Freshman year, first semester, intro to computer science.
I wrote a program that played tic-tac-toe.
I think it was pretty humble beginnings. I think the first program I wrote asked things like, what's your favorite color? Or how old are you?
I first learned how to make a green circle and a red square appear on the screen.
The first time I actually had something come up and say, hello world, and I made a computer do that. It was just astonishing.
Learning how to program didn't start off as wanting to learn all of computer science or trying to master this discipline or anything like that. It just started off because I wanted to do this one simple thing. I wanted to make something that was fun for myself and my sisters, and I wrote this little program. And then basically just add a little bit to it. And then when I needed to learn something new, I looked it up, either in a book or on the internet, and then added a little bit to it.
It's really not unlike kind of playing an instrument or something, or playing a sport. It starts out being very intimidating, but you kind of get the hang of it over time.
Coding is something that can be learned, and I know it can be intimidating. A lot of things are intimidating, but what isn't?
A lot of the coding that people do is actually fairly simple. It's more about the process of breaking down problems than sort of coming up with complicated algorithms as people traditionally think about it.
You don't have to be a genius to know how to code. You need to be determined.
Addition, subtraction, that's about it.
You should probably know your multiplication tables.
You don't have to be a genius to code. Do you have to be a genius to read?
Even if you want to become a race car driver or play baseball or build a house, all of these things have been turned upside down by software.
What it is computers are everywhere. You want to work in agriculture? Do you want to work in entertainment? Do you want to work in manufacturing? It's just all over.
Here we are, 2013. We all depend on technology to communicate, to bank, information, and none of us know how to read and write code.
when I was in school, I was in this after-school group called the Whiz Kids, and when people found out, they laughed at me and, you know, all these things. And I'm like, man, I don't care. I think it's cool, and, you know, I'm learning a lot, and some of my friends have jobs.
Our policy is literally to hire as many talented engineers as we can find. The whole limit in the system is just that there just aren't enough people who are trained and have these skills today.
To get the very best people, we try to make the office as awesome as possible.
Fantastic chef.
Free food.
Breakfast, lunch, and dinner.
Free laundry.
Snacks. Even places to play and video games and scooters. There's all these kind of interesting things around the office and places where people can play or relax or go to think or play music or be creative.
Whether you're trying to make a lot of money or whether you just want to change the world, computer programming is an incredibly empowering skill to learn.
I think if someone had told me that software is really about humanity, that it's really about helping people by using computer technology, it would have changed my outlook a lot earlier.
To be able to actually come up with an idea and then see it in your hands and then be able to press a button and have it be in millions of people's hands. I mean, I think we're the first generation in the world that's really ever had that kind of experience.
Just to think that you can start something in your college dorm room and you can have a set of people who haven't built a big company before come together and build something that 1 billion people use as part of their daily lives is just crazy to think about, right? It's humbling and it's amazing.
The programmers of tomorrow are the wizards of the future. You know, you're going to look like you have magic powers compared to everybody else.
It's amazing. I think it's the closest thing we have to a superpower.
Great coders are today's rock stars. That's it.
Alright, does it make you feel better about computers? How to make app with with ease. Of course, there would be coding required, but there are a lot of advanced tools which exist. I just want to give you some overview on what's happening in the technology space. Really, some of the things which are most growing at the most fastest speed from the technology perspective, purely from the IT technology perspective, especially. So mobility is definitely there, and then we've seen the uprise of the social. So social is now getting into the, not just for the consumers and kids and housewives and teenagers and adults and everyone, it's actually also getting into offices. So the new tools which are used in offices, they try and use more of social. In fact, Microsoft, some of you might have heard Microsoft has acquired LinkedIn. Accelerator, PhoneGap. PhoneGap is something which is open source. Then Adobe makes tools for making apps. X is for Xamarin, which is Microsoft C#-based platform I talked about. Then there are other companies called Kony and Sencha. These are some of the companies which makes tools for you to make mobile apps. Of course, none of them is free other than PhoneGap, and Xamarin is free for community edition. So if you have Xamarin community edition, that's free, and PhoneGap is free to an extent. So these are free. So these are free platforms you can just choose and make apps. Okay. Now this is getting a little technical. That there are two kind of apps, technically speaking. One are called hybrid apps, another called native apps. Hybrid apps, when you use HTML5 and JavaScript, you make what is called as hybrid apps. Okay, but when you use anything other than HTML5 JavaScript, usually it is a native app. So if you're using C# or you're using Java or you're using C++, you are making native apps. And if you're using HTML5 and JavaScript, they're called hybrid apps. So these are the two bigger terms for apps. So the demos that Manoj is going to give you is to build hybrid apps today, because they are quicker to make, faster, faster to make. There's a there's a less learning curve and so on and so forth. Okay. In terms of other things, so coding is just one part of the app. There's so many other things that goes inside the mobile app, as I said, just the actual coding is really one part, but the more important part is how do you engage with your consumers. So the user interface, designing of the user interface, and the consumer behavior, because you have a small form factor, it's a limited size screen, so you have to be intuitive in terms of what you're putting over there, how people are going to interact, where should they click, what colors should be there, what icons. So there's a whole theory around it. In fact, Google has something called material design, and material design talks about some of the fundamentals of the app user interface design. But feel free to copy, not the entire design, but the concept. So if you like any apps, I just copy the concept and I say, yeah, this might look good, let me just copy it, because there's no copyright protection around copying others' idea about user interface. So you can just go ahead and do it. So user interaction is an important piece. So what I typically do is, and you'll see always in my bag, some white papers with a pen where I'm kind of first create a wireframe, and I talk to the wireframes, put myself in the shoes of a consumer, see if the consumer were to use this, how would the guy feel, and then we go on further develop it. So now I use Surface actually, since I have Surface the last 2 months. I use Surface to draw these wireframes, but this is what you do. You need to do a bit of the conceptualization. You can't just go and start writing apps, open up the editor and start writing apps. You have to have a concept in mind of what you're trying to do, how you're trying to do, who's your user profile, and so on and so forth. Okay. Designing, just like any other thing, whether you are building you are making a building, or you are making a shape, or you are making anything, you need to have a proper designing. So you should know what are the components, how they're going to interact with each other, where the database is going to be, where the login is going to happen. So you need to do all that design pieces, and then of course comes to the coding, right? Where you go and actually do the coding. Another interesting thing with mobile apps is that testing is a challenge for mobile apps. Okay, it's a real challenging piece of testing the mobile apps, because there are just too many type of phones out there in the market. There are small screen phones, there are big screen phones, there are different operating systems, there are different versions. Something will work on some phones, something will not work on other phones. So it's not that easy to do testing. And then what happens if the network is slow? How will your app should respond? Or the network is disconnected? How the app is to be respond? You need to test it really, really thoroughly. Okay. In fact, really speaking, if you were to make a full app, the team is to make a full app, I would say coding takes just 50% of the effort. Less 50% of the effort goes in the other life cycle things like testing, publishing on the App Store, because each app after it is tested, it has to be published on the App Stores, right? So Windows, iOS, and Android, they have their own App Stores, so you need to publish. They need to ask you, in fact, you need to spend $100 to become an iOS developer. You need, because unless and until you become an Apple developer, by paying $100, it won't allow you to post apps on the iOS store. So you need to have all that thing. So it's a sort of it's a full life cycle. It's not that although the entry barrier are small and anybody can make it, you just be cognizant of the fact that if you tell somebody, I will do it in 1 month, no, it won't happen in 1 month. And the same mistake I also made, you know, when people used to ask me earlier, how much time you going to think you should make, and I would say 3 months. And then later on I realized actually it takes 1 damn year, because you know you need to do each of these things properly. Because see, today what's happening is, especially if you're making a consumer app, and if you click something or touch something and it doesn't respond properly, the chances are that the guy is not just going to throw the app, is going to throw the phone itself. You know, so because consumer behaviors are becoming, you know, less and less the temperament in terms of consumer behavior. So you want your app to be very good. Nobody wants a buggy thing, right? Especially, you know, you may like my daughter, for example, if she clicks on an icon and it doesn't pop up in 1 second, then make sure that that phone goes off or us. So it's the hardware, poor hardware takes a toll than the app designer. So these things are very, very important. Now this is more on the architecture side in terms of typically when you make apps, and you need, as I said, you need the back end as well. So app is primarily the front end, which has all this user interface and everything. And then you need a back end where the database is there. And then there are some services which we call as usually REST APIs, which will pull this data from database and then give it to the app for it to work, or work the other way around. So you enter some data into database, and then through these REST APIs you can then send it back to the database. And more often than not, this database will be on cloud, which could be, again, as I said, an Amazon cloud or Azure cloud or whichever cloud you may just pick up. And you don't have to even go setting up those databases and all those things, which are already there. You know, that's set up. All you have to do is just create them. Okay. Now, as far as creating of the app is concerned, there are all sorts of tools now. You know, there are tools where you can drag and drop and try and assemble some of the stuff. But even then, 80% of the time, the code which is generated is only limited. There's only little code will be generated. 80% of the code you'll actually have to end up writing yourself. So the tools will do maybe some painting for you. It will create some screens for you. But the actual interaction and all that, so you need to be doing programming for that. The good news is you can pick up any language. You know, you need not to just be a Java developer or whatever. No, you can just pick up and corresponding technology. You can just go ahead and build it. So what I'm going to leave you with this is, before I hand over to Manoj, is some of the tricks, or what I call is the best practices, and that should help you get going. So if you actually go and so some of these companies which make really great tools. So I think I'm not even connected to internet. Otherwise, you'll have to, you know, write. Typically, you'll have to write longer code if you don't use these tools. But if you use some of these paid tools, you will have to write lesser code, because they let you connect to backend databases rather easily than otherwise. Then some of these tools allows you to do automated testing also, because testing, as I said, was important. So these companies like Taloric, for example, they have test clouds for mobile apps. So where you can submit your app, and they're going to test it on thousands of real devices and tell you whether it worked properly or didn't work properly. You have a question? Do you have a question? Okay. And then, you know, also, as I said, the deploying to multiple app store is also speed up a little bit. And then you need to manage and measure who is using. So, you know, the interesting thing with app development is that once you make an app and you give it out to consumers, how do you know who is using what feature? Because they are all over the place. Some of the customers can be in your city, some of them can be outside the city. So how do you make sure that you know what activities are happening? So again, cloud helps you there. So cloud, all the data which people are doing, all the clicks that they are doing, it keeps pushing to the cloud, so that later on you can go to the dashboard and you can see how many people are using this feature, if there are any problems people are facing. So all that is available, because that's an important part of the app development. You want to measure after you deploy of how people are doing with the app, right? So this is one of it. In fact, if you want to know all the tools, all the mobile-related top tools, you can open this Gartner study. Gartner is a company which does research on who are the top tool vendors. So if you can go to Gartner and just go to Google and say Gartner mobile application development tools, so it will tell you the best tools in the market, which is the highest ranking tool, so that you can just use them and start making things. Now, as I said, in some of these tools, if you use, relatively the coding is much lesser, you know. Here, if you were to use these, coding will be roughly about 50%. 50% of the code will be generated for you, but it doesn't completely eliminate coding. You'll have to still end up doing coding. Now, Adobe also make nice tools, although I haven't used them personally, but I've heard they make, so you can just check out by going to their website, and you can, you know, use these tools for okay. So I know for some reason it's taking time. The other tool that you can use is from Microsoft itself. This is fairly interesting. Obviously, my favorite because of the obvious reasons. So this is the platform from Microsoft to create mobile apps. Again, you have a free community edition. As a student, you can just download and start building apps. This is using C#, and the great thing about here is that the code that you will write will work on all three platforms: iOS, Android, and Windows. And it also covers Linux, Mac, iOS, you know, other devices as well. So this is, and just like Telerik, it has everything to do with, you know, test distribution, monitor, all those facilities are there. So it also has test cloud. It has 3,000 real devices where you can submit your app for testing. Of course, you need to pay for that because somebody is maintaining that big thing. So all that is available, you know, as an infrastructure, and you can build. Again, here in this platform, there would be a fair amount of coding you will have to do. You'll probably generate 20–30% of the code. 70–80% of the thing you'll have to program yourself. And as I said, it is good to program yourself because then you have the most flexibility. You can do whatever. Because if you depend on the tool generating code, a lot of code for you, you have constraints, whatever, no matter how good tool you can pick up. So all that is there, and then of course you have cloud. All these tools will internally, you know, connect with cloud. So if you go to Adobe, for example, and if I test spatial offers for products. It's not even listed all the products, but they also have good products for making apps as well. Now each of these vendors, they have their own cloud. They have their own cloud, but cloud you are free to use any one. So if you use Xamarin for development, you can use Amazon Cloud, or use Adobe for development. Usually there is no such thing as you have to use the same cloud. You can use any cloud because it basically is the open standard. So this is so you have this PhoneGap build. PhoneGap build, for example, gives you this PhoneGap build out there. You see is for managing and PhoneGap based apps on the cloud. You see this PhoneGap build, and this is what Manoj will demonstrate, how to use PhoneGap from Adobe to build your apps. That's what he's going to talk about. So there's all these vendors, but really speaking, there are a lot of possibilities. It depends on what you pick up, what you want to pick up. Okay, so with IBM also has a tool for making apps, but IBM tools are more when you want to make a company app, an enterprise app, not a consumer app. So if let's say if you're working in an organization and for your internal employees, if you want to make an app only for internal employees, then IBM is a great platform. But if you want to make consumer apps, it's not a really a great platform. Okay. The other thing that you can obviously do is you can always just go download Eclipse, Android SDK, and Java, and then you can make apps. But then those will be only Android, right? But since 90% is Android anyway, that's not a bad thing, but that depends. If you are fine with your apps running only on one platform, but then you have to learn Android SDK, which takes a bit of a time. Learning HTML, JavaScript based apps is a little faster. Okay, so with this I will hand over to Manoj. But before I do that, any questions you have on anything to do with app development, just feel free to ask. Anything? Yeah.
What do we need in laptop?
Sorry? What do we need in the lab? What do you need in the laptop? To make apps? So that is what? Either you can download one of these tools from these vendors which I said, from Dalric or from Adobe or from Microsoft, or Manoj is going to tell you what you need. If you want to use open source, Manoj is going to tell you exactly what you need to download. Okay, so what Manoj is going to do it for next 2 hours is a step-by-step demonstration on making apps. For those of you who have come with computers, they can follow him, whatever he does on his computer, you can just follow him. You can, if you're connected to internet, you can download, because for what we're going to do for next 2 hours is we're actually going to build an app. Okay? But other than that, if you have any other question related to app development, you can target me. I can help you answer. Okay, so the question is which language we need to learn to develop an app. I think I talked about it a bit earlier. Let me go back to the same slide once again, because that's an important slide. That slide is being washed off, but anyway, I can talk about it. So you can make app, here it is. So you can make app using, you can have different languages, as you can see. Each language has their own pros and cons. Okay, which language do you know? I'm sorry? So if you know Java, then you have. Have you also programmed in HTML or JavaScript? Huh? Then say so. Okay. So if you can use either Java or you can use HTML, JavaScript, either way you can use. But if you use Java, the learning period of Android SDKs and setup that you need to make on a computer is a little more. But if you use HTML, JavaScript, it is much faster. There is no such thing as which is the best language to create an app, but she pointed a good question. So for that, let me show you this particular slide, which is the important slide. How do you take decision on which language to use, to choose to build an app? For which I want to show you this slide in the answer. Now, it doesn't matter which language you choose. What matters is whether you are making a hybrid app or you are making a native app. Okay, if you make a native app, you can either use Java or you can use C++ or you can use C#. But if you're making hybrid apps, you have to use more often than not HTML, JavaScript. Okay, so there is no such one answer. Okay, it depends on. Hybrid app has got its own advantages because it's easier to make, faster to learn. But in terms of very high performance, they are not. If you want a very high performance app, you need to make native apps. Okay, native apps can be made in Java, C# and C++. These are the, and Objective-C obviously. So it depends whether you want to make native apps or hybrid apps. So I think before you pick up the language for making apps, you ask yourself this question, whether I want to make a hybrid app or I want to make a native app. Just kind of, once again, native apps gives you very high performance, but the time that it takes to make those native apps is a little more. There are multiple choice of languages for making native apps, so if you really look at native apps, so you can, if you can look at my screen, you can make native apps in C++, you can make native apps in Java, you can make native apps in C#, okay, and then you can make native app in Swift or Objective-C. But these two is predominantly for iOS. Objective-C and Swift is predominantly for iOS. This is, you can use all of this to make native apps. Java, if you make native apps, it will only be for Android. C++, if you make native apps, it will be for all three platforms. C#, if you make native apps, it can again be targeted for all three platforms. Java can also be targeted for all three platforms, provided you have some of these IBM tools, etc. Okay, but on the hybrid side, the choice is HTML, JavaScript, and CSS. So this is what you use to make hybrid apps, really speaking.